Hello everybody and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns, broadcasting Link to the Past randomized Crosskeys tournament 2022. We got the Swiss round 7 for you today. It's Gylgamesh versus Incoherent. Commentating first we have Dane8373 and Jesse or Radical Sniper 99. And tracking for us are Lady Laura Linda and Toffile. Say hello everybody.
Hello everybody.
Hello. So today we've got Gylgamesh versus Incoherent. Both these runners are at 4-2, which is kind of the place it's place to be, I guess, at this point in the tournament. You want to have 2 or fewer losses, because if you still have 2 or fewer losses, you are still in contention to make the playoffs.
Yeah, you are still alive in this tournament. You take that 3rd loss, and unfortunately, that means your playoff hopes are dashed. So a lot on the line tonight, of course. One runner will be saying goodbye to that hope, I guess is the way to put it. But we still got one more week after this regardless. So, but should be a fun one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the nice things about the Swiss format is that you always get, if you want to keep playing, you can keep playing. You don't have to stop just because you got eliminated.
Exactly. So we'll see what kind of starts we get out of our runners tonight. I feel like we've seen, I feel like the profile of moves is changing a little bit. So, but both runners are starting at Link's house. Get that Ice Palace small key.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, sorry.
We're getting the meta from both players tonight, it looks like. Yeah,
I have seen that you were mentioning a little bit of a shift where this I feel like it used to be more common to do the hula hand than it is now. I've seen more runners opting to do Sank Start, for instance, but obviously still a very popular opening.
Yeah, I don't even go with the Sank Start or the hula hand, so I think it's really interesting to see how this shifts. I think part of it is, some people are starting to find oh, I'm getting burned on this or not, and maybe making a bit of a change to their idea.
Yeah, for sure. One of the main things that I like about the hula hand route is that no matter what, you can, you'll have money, so you can feel, sometimes those entrances, for instance, Hylie Island entrances can feel a bit bad if you're not going to be able to get bombs. We see Incoherent getting some bombs, or sorry, Gylgamesh getting some bombs from that kill here on that Bogard. I haven't seen this sort of route where people go south instead of just doing the second flake flipper.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's just a comfort level. I think that's part of the reason I avoid even this start. So,
yeah, that second flake flipper is a bit tricky.
Yeah, we got 2 fake flippers to kind of set up here. And I thought, yeah, we got some extra bombs here, so both runners are going to take advantage of that. And never mind. Apparently, Incoherent saying, I don't need those bombs, and just going straight for the hula hand.
Yeah, but interesting, because I do really like having 3 versus just the 1, or 4 versus just the 1 bomb, because they're one bomb can just, and so many entrances require just 1 bomb, so it's always nice to have more than 1.
Yeah, I mean, if we're heading straight to Kakariko after this, or doing a Sank start, if your Sank is got an open spot for you, you're gonna drop down. And unfortunately for Incoherent, that's going to be not even an option here.
And we'll get to see where Sank is here. One of the main reasons I don't like the immediately walking into Hyrule Castle is because if Sank is here, you'll see it saves a decent amount of time. But it is not, so it might be something a little bit valuable. We see that Sank was at the Magic Bat spot. Also seeing the Moon Pearl up in that Smith house with the Pyramid Fairy in it.
Yeah, nice early Pearl. Might make you a little bit more adventurous with the start here.
Yeah, absolutely. Something like taking a one-way connector in Kakariko, knowing you can save and quit and get back quickly, and knowing that if it's somewhere in the Dark World, you're going to have the Moon Pearl. I personally I don't like Moon Pearl at 2 minutes. I like it more 15, 20 minutes, because I don't want to dive the connector super early, but maybe that's just me.
Oh, I'm in a complete agreement there. It's one of those things, though, if our Sank start's not terrible in this seed, so I'd definitely be a little more tempted to be oh, I'm just going to go through this connector and, see what happens. If I get thrown out in Dark World, who cares?
I was thinking, speaking of good early items, Incoherent was able to get that mirror over from the thief drop down at the castle spot. So definitely, really, it's very, very good to get the mirror early. So and that spot in the Hyrule Castle can be a bit slow to get to sometimes. So that could be a pretty big advantage for Incoherent, depending on when Gylgamesh gets there.
Yeah, going back to like that kind of play could take a little bit. And here's that connector play. Gylgamesh going for that hookshot cave entrance. And ending up over by Ice Rod Cave. Not a bad connector, honestly.
It does make the sting of having to potentially walk there without a glove much less. I do like getting connected to that entrance. It's better when you get the glove-locked entrance connected to, but you take what you can get.
Yeah, and it does bring us over to the bumper ledge. So that's a really interesting connector to find so quickly. And I'll be curious, Incoherent takes that and already has the mirror for that check as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If that's something useful, that's going to be a really big advantage for Incoherent. And yeah, that entrance is very interesting because it really opens up most of the Dark World. And with his current loadout, Gylgamesh cannot get to the pod area, but you can get there out of logic. And it's also that's only a few entrances. It's a large area, but not that many entrances available right now.
Yeah, and we do have some money, so we're able to get a couple of the free item checks with this one. So we'll see how far you want to take this. Looks like for now, Gylgamesh is going to continue on it.
Yeah, I probably would want to go down to those items you mentioned. It's a bit of a walk, but I do value those guaranteed items in the early game. No, that's unfortunately not going to pay off quite as well because we know the mirror is available. That's one of the main downsides to going to that South Dark World a bit early.
Now, we did, of course, find Laser Bridge there at the Curiosity Shop. Meanwhile, Incoherent did find a sword over at Agina, and that was at the Snitch House in CAC.
Yeah, I don't even think Incoherence had gotten over to Hookshot Cave to have the opportunity to follow it, but this is one of the advantages to putting it off a little bit is like Incoherent already has that sword. The mirror obviously didn't come from Kakariko, but just having some extra items for when you get into your Dark World long walks can be very nice.
Yeah, meanwhile, we also found Swamp Palace at our Sick Kid. Surprised we haven't seen a shop really yet. Somewhere nice to buy bombs would be great right now.
Yeah, it's really annoying when you get those seats like that just don't give you any good areas to get bombs. Incoherent finding a dark connector with, I guess he has the sword, so he could figure out which one this is. Because it's really easy to figure out if it's the old man one with the sword, and then it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the back of the old man and that other fairy Death Mound Descent, but you can at least eliminate most of the options when you peer around in there. I wonder if this is the old man. I don't have the audio on. I couldn't hear if we hear the jump down.
That was our old man connector. And yeah, I was surprised we didn't get a sword hold out the whole time.
You know what? Some runners, they're just really comfortable with that, and they just can do it by sort of memory.
Yep. I did see the R taps for Incoherent, so definitely using the sound cues to kind of get an idea when we cross through the screen transition.
I always think that's funny how that's like an unintended benefit of Quick Swap is being able to navigate in those dark rooms using the directional audio. And it's always nice to find that old man early. Without Moon Pearl, it's not quite as crazy because there's other places you can get connected to for live entrances, but it's just so many entrances and the Light World entrances are such a premium in the early game. So I understand why Incoherent would want to sequence break this, especially with the mirror, knowing he can already get the Tower of Hero entrance if that wasn't where Old Man spit him out of.
Right. And there's that shop finally for Incoherent going like, yep, I'm buying bombs.
Absolutely. He's been on the bare minimum of bombs the entire seed. Oh, finding Hype Cave over at that Archery Cave entrance for Gylgamesh. We'll see if we get anything good from here.
A couple of hearts and a Skullwood's big key aren't exactly the most hype items. At low health right now, it's not terrible. And knowing eventually like how accessible that mirror is, I would definitely be happy with the extra health.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely good to get the Skullwood's big key, considering that Gylgamesh had the option to go to Skullwoods, but didn't want to go up there with no weapon and 3 hearts, because it can be, even getting that one chest that you have to push the statue can be annoying with no weapon. Here's another connector over here from Incoherent. We'll see. Yeah, you generally want to check that other bottom one, but I do agree with. I really like throwing the bomb there, and then you mark the connector on your tracker, and then you go out.
Yeah, part of effective Crosskeys play can just become, how quickly can I keep marking stuff and keep moving, or give myself that extra little moment to make that mark.
Yeah, I personally will always steal the Desert Palace small key because it just takes me enough time to mark where Desert Palace is. It's basically free to go back and get the key, and even if I never steal it, it's just nice to know I have the option.
Yeah, Incoherent getting those flippers and I believe that was a pod small out of Sahasralas.
Yep, so those flippers will give more Dark World access once Incoherent makes his way over to that Dark World, because you can actually get to the pod area with those flippers, though they're still out of logic, but it's definitely something you'd want to do.
Yeah, we also find Graveyard Ledge. Unfortunately, that means we probably could have gotten away without buying bombs, but and there's that Desert Small you were talking about.
Yeah, it's nice to find that, especially before you find any of the desert hubs. And yeah, it is a bit annoying to find Graveyard Ledge, one of the best bomb farms in the game, but there's no way you're not going to buy the bombs when you have 0, but it's kind of annoying.
Well, interestingly enough, we did find Desert West here on Death Mountain, so I wonder if Incoherent decides to walk in and check these any entrances, or at least check the items. And yep, we are going to get that check. This was our Desert West entrance. Incoherent's like, yeah, I've got 2 free items here, at least a third as well, and scouting the torch, so plenty of information.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, he's got the 2 connectors with the mirror. He was able to clear out all of the Dark World entrances as well, which can be, sometimes you come to the mountain and you don't have the mirror and you have to choose between following some random connector or taking the 2 entrances in the Dark World. But none of that today with the Moon Pearl and the mirror both. So, and there's also that other connector with the Quarreling Brothers in the Dark World, but I think you just follow these ones, and if they're good, you keep following them. If they're both bad and you can get back, then you go to that last connector.
Oh, hey, there's Eastern.
Yep, and looks like Gylgamesh does want to dip here. Swamp Palace entrance is a bit annoying to get back to, especially when the only connector there is from the Papa Bumper Cave. So I don't know if Gylgamesh always does the Eastern dip, but I can definitely see an argument, even if you don't, to do it here.
Yeah, we'll see if this pays out with anything, really. That's always the big question. It's really early in a seed, and I know a lot of people will say, like, oh, if it's early, I go. If it's late, I wait. Oh, hey, that Desert East entrance, not too bad. Down by Lake Hylia.
Yeah, it looks like Incoherent wants to clear out the rest of these Light World here with that very quick access back to the mountain now.
Yeah, and having that information, you can just say, okay, well, I've got easy access to the mountain again, so if I want to check that Brothers connector, I can.
And we also saw...
Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
I was going to point out we got the book over in Eastern Palace on Gilgamesh's side, so that could be an interesting find for the Desert Palace entrance or a tablet later.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy part here is that both of what our runners are doing is completely in logic right now.
Yep.
Like,
with that
none
Desert
of
Palace connector.
Yeah, none of this is out of logic for either runner, so...
Yeah, this is a very open early seed with the early Mirror and the early Moon Pearl and some very good connectors to the Dark World. There's a lot of stuff that's available.
Ooh, that Mireshed paying out with the hammer, by the way.
Yeah, it's crazy that hammer's in CAC, and that's we're only just seeing it 14 minutes in.
And another connector there is our Fairy Ascension Cave.
Yeah, this is insane with the number of connectors we've got over in the Kakariko area. And it's also nice that they have that save and quit to the Magic Bat spot, because sometimes we'll get 3-4 connectors in CAC, but then have no good access to Kakariko, and that can be torture sometimes, but they can at least get back quickly to all these connectors they found.
Yeah, and that does put the back of Escape in logic now. And hey, we have a cross vanilla entrance there with a chest game.
Eastern all given just the 300 for the last item. So we did find that book, which is a big to be determined from Gylgamesh. Otherwise, nothing of value from that Eastern.
I didn't realize that Fairy Ascension was actually... Completely forgot. Fairy Ascension was the old man spot.
Yeah, I mean, these runners are both in. It's hard to pay attention to both. They're both covering so much ground. We've seen so many entrances between the two runners. We haven't seen the pod area, but we've seen most of the other areas.
Oh, that's our Hyrule Castle small key as well. Interesting. Not a huge deal at this point.
There are the rare seeds where you're required to walk backwards from Back of Escape to get required progression from the Dark Cross, but we'll see if that ends up happening.
Yeah. Now the question is Incoherent going to go after this connector here, or potentially go for East Death Mountain now?
Yeah, that's a good point. With that mirror and the hammer, he can get over to East Death Mountain. Well, looks like he's going there either way. It's always funny when Crosskeys does that, where no matter, you have two options and both of them lead to the exact same spot. Yeah,
just a little scary at 1.5 hearts for Incoherent here. Wants to be able to check this East Dark Death Mountain stuff, but sneaking by a couple of Lionels, not going to be a fun journey. Does it nicely with the mirror. We'll see if we get a scout of that TR medallion. Not a huge deal. As we do find Spike Cave there.
Yeah, and the other sort of choice is that he'll have the choice between taking one of the drop downs or dropping down in the Dark World to get those Dark World entrances. I probably would do the Dark World ones, but they really all can get gotten through other connectors, so it's kind of runner's choice.
Yeah, I would probably do the drop down from the from Dark Death Mountain here. Partly because of the fact that you can get the two at the bottom of Dark Death Mountain, and since you have Pearl already, you can do the middle as well.
That's a good point. It was 3 versus 2 versus 1.
Yeah. I think just from a numbers perspective, this works out a little nicer for us. We do get that full magic, as well as the hook shot out of Super Bunny Cave. Very nice.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to get that hook shot early, because something like a hookless swamp is never fun. When you see hammer and flippers already, you're already a good piece of the way there. It looks like Incoherent's going to take those middle drop downs.
Well, the fact that we found Chicken House, Chicken Hut, I guess that's better than what I was suggesting, because you would have missed Chicken Hut and the small key to Pod. So not a huge payout. We're starting to build a little bit of a stockpile there now.
Yeah, with 3 pod smalls already, that is looking like a good dip once it shows up.
And that's a rough one as well, because, yep.
So now I think your dropping down in the Dark World is looking even nicer, because if if you had done that, then you would have the option to check these connectors at the end after doing the rest of East Death Mountain. Whereas now, Incoherent has to choose between either taking these connectors or going to the rest of East Death Mountain unless the myths show up.
But I imagine Incoherent's at least gonna, after this check, you know, go for Dark Cross. You've got the sword, so you've got decent visibility here. And we're getting the ped check.
Lamp.
Oh, wow. That's cool info, I guess? Like, honestly, that's a very powerful piece of knowledge.
It does tell you a lot about like dark rooms and stuff and how soon you can expect to be required to do that. You really hope the Fire Rod decides to show up this seed.
Well, and the thing is that what that tells us is that Eastern's a crystal, Pod's a crystal, Myre's a crystal.
Yeah, that's correct.
Like, we know those 3 dungeons have to be crystals based off of that simple piece of knowledge.
Yep, and depending on where the Turtle Rock Laser Bridge is somewhere like Desert Palace.
Well, we already found it.
That's correct, yeah. So never mind that.
I don't believe that indicates TR having to be a crystal because of the fact that we do know where Laser Bridge is.
Yes, I agree.
But I could be mistaken. Crosskeys logic is always hilariously obscure at times. We did find the Cack Well over at Lumberjack, so that is not fun. And hey, there's Pod.
Yeah, and Gylgamesh only has the 1 pod small, which is a bit unfortunate because we know that there are 3 of them sitting around.
And I do appreciate Amazing Ampharos letting us know that, hey, Pod or TR can be a pendant with that. So thank you for clearing up that logical piece there. Definitely one that I'm a little bit rusty on, so much appreciated. We do see the magic bat at the Sanctuary dropdown.
So that means, is that Vanilla Ganon then? I don't recall us seeing Ganon.
I don't think we've seen Ganon, you're right. I think we are looking at also a Vanilla Ganon tonight.
Man, this is one of the worst sets of dropdowns, having Cackwell at Aghanim and Vanilla Ganon.
Oh, have we seen it? Oh, never mind.
Okay, I must have missed that one.
No, I guess chat's talking about a different location. Sorry.
Yeah, because I think we've got, I don't remember what was at the forest. Perhaps that's the only one that's blanking on, but we've got Thief drop down at Hyrule Castle. We have Lumberjack at Useless Fairy. And then we had, I think we had Uncle at Cackwell, and we got back a Snake at the Hammer spot.
Oh, no, so Ganon is in the woods. Okay.
All right, I missed that one.
Darn. So wait,
But
does
that's
that
good
mean...
for the runner.
Yeah, that means Useless Fairies at Pyramid, I think.
I would bet on that one, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure. And we see Gilgamesh going for the Mimic Clip, and he's able to get it, because I think he does have a green potion, so he must be pretty confident in his ability to do that Mimic Clip.
Okay, never mind. Useless Fairies at the well. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible tonight. Sorry, chat.
This is a difficult one, because the runners were both... We had one runner in the Dark World and the other one on the mountain 5 minutes in, and Moon
This
Pearl
has
and
been some of the biggest divergence. We also see the fact that Incoherent found that bow in Pod. So, like, all that time that Gilgamesh spent, like, it was a good Mimic Clip. So, not poor at all, but I'm gonna feel a little bit annoyed finding, hey, there was a bow available.
Yeah, I think he did that because he's got the 1 small key, and he might be thinking about being greedy and skipping the Stalfos basement and instead going to the back.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, that 1 key does say that this chest is in logic on the dropdown, and skipping it can feel really bad.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I called it being greedy to go to the back. But it's a viable play that you'll see runners do.
Oh, that was the chest. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Gilgamesh not happy about that. Because I'm sure he always, like, if you play Crosskeys enough, you know, you got always do those front chests first if you want to get the bow. But because of the keys and having the hammer, I think he wanted to have the option to go to the back. And then, of course, that's when the bow shows up. It is kind of interesting how both these runners take such different paths, and then they just both wind up in Pod at about the same time.
Yeah, the only problem here is that Incoherent just has such a better allotment here with 3 keys, able to check a lot more and faster. You know, using that first key on the front door and being like, I don't even care, and having a second key here for this portion. And really, at this point, I'd be tempted to use the 3rd key on Harmless Hellway. But we'll see how he wants to play this one.
Yeah, and we already know from Gylgamesh's info, like you're mentioning, that this will be a crystal, so that can also impact your decision. Incoherent obviously does not know that. Oh yeah, and amazing Ampharos pointing out in chat that, yeah, everything in the back here, except that one chest in the turtle room, is locked by the lamp. So, and the lamp being on pad, you know that, okay, anything you need to beat the pendant dungeons can't be in here.
So both runners currently in the dark maze here. The other advantage here for Incoherent, of course, is that mirror. This early route has really paid out nicely.
Oh yeah, whenever you get the mirror in the first 5 minutes of the seed, you're feeling good about your route for a while, because it's just probably the most important item to get in Crosskeys early.
Yeah, I hear a lot of discussion always, what item do you want first in Crosskeys? I think there's a few contenders, and we've got a couple of them already. Mirror, Pearl, Glove, I think, are my top 3.
I agree on those top 3 as well, and I probably like the mirror first most of all, but I wouldn't fight you if you said you wanted the glove more.
Yeah, I'll take any of that set, honestly. It's, I think they all have equal value overall. So everybody who's saying, what about boots? Boots are kind of like, they're nice for speed, but I want more access.
Also, if I get the boots in the first 2 minutes of the seed, I just mess up all of my tracking, because I'm so used to the beginning of the game having one hand to move around and the other one to do the tracking with. But when you got the boots, you gotta be managing that A button with your right hand, and tracking Kakariko when you get the boots it's a bit of a chore.
Hammer as top 5. I'm a little unsure if I'd even say that, Jay Coper. I like a hammer, but I might even say hook and boots before it.
Yeah, it's definitely close. I think the nice thing about the hammer really early is just having an early weapon can be very nice. But like if I get the hammer it falls off. Like if I get it really early, I'm really happy. But if I get it at like an hour, it generally only gives me a few checks.
So unfortunately, Gylgamesh is going through right side a second time. Really trying to preserve this, but also trying to make sure to hit all of the access in pod as much as possible. It's just unfortunate how much time that's going to consume. And Incoherent's going with that hookshot, by the way, into Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just 4 free items. Hookshot Cave, you often will go right to here, especially because we know he hasn't followed this connector yet. We know this connector is going to give him great Dark World access. So it's looking really good for the way Incoherent's routed the seed so far.
Hookshot Cave really kind of just trashed today. No real great finds here. And I do love seeing this conversation in chat. We were sparking something interesting with this one on, what items you want first and which ones are your most important. It's very interesting. Thank you, chat.
Yeah, definitely different preferences and I think it's going to depend on, like I was mentioning about hammer, like really early. I'm really excited. The glove, the thing I like about the glove is that unless I get it, like I feel like my opponent could have gotten this way early, I'm always happy to get the glove. Like if I get a glove at an hour, I'm like, this is great. If I get it at 1 minute, still thinking it's great.
Just make sure it's the first glove. I'd rather not see myths. Hey,
yeah, myths are kind of annoying.
We were talking about that mirror, and that bumper ledge mirror location is Mini Moldorm Cave. Really nice find.
Yeah, these 5 item caves, very nice to get into. We'll see if it's going to give anything good. Mushroom, at least.
We got the big key to Thieves Town, though. That's a good find for sure.
Yeah, we still haven't found Thieves Town. We don't know if that's going to be required to beat yet, but we will see.
And, you know, you mentioned this whole thing for Gylgamesh of when do we see the Hyrule Castle play, and Hyrule Castle not really a priority, so that mirror just continues to elude.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because one of the best times to go back there, like for me with Cat, it depends on when I find Cackwell. If I find Cackwell before checking that, sometimes you want to put it up till you find the mirror, and then when you're over in the pyramid area, that's when you check it. We'll get some more mirror, at least one more mirror check over here from Incoherent with the Graveyard Lead.
Yeah, one of the other really great things for Incoherent here is this route is very open for checks. You know, heading towards Village of Outcasts, we can then see this go all the way over to Palace of Darkness and even some dark shopping mall checks.
Yeah, I mean, if Incoherent were to somehow stumble into a glove along the way, you can basically do a almost full Dark World loop, first trip through Dark World, which is always ideal in this mode. It's pretty easy, as long as if you don't get sidetracked, you just start from here, you go around through Thieves Town, do all the mirror checks over there, then do South Dark World, take the flippers over to Dark Shopping Mall. You can go up towards Catfish, though we don't have a glove, so can't actually get Catfish himself, and then just save and quit from Pod.
Yeah, Incoherent's just gonna have to be a little careful here, down to half a heart, but hey, what do you know? We got that fairy fountain. Incoherent probably doesn't mark those. I mean, I don't think many of us ever marked fairy caves, but you know it was there, so you're like, let me just go heal up real quick. Thank you.
Yeah, you can at least have the short-term memory to get over there. And we'll get to see this mini Moldorm Cave entrance, which has been a bit, since they got connected over to Ice Rod Cave, it gets put off a little bit, but nothing of value there. We'll see Incoherent over here. Learning to do these laser skips, I think, is one of the more important things to learn when you're trying to pick up this mode, because you'll find this entrance sometimes when you're just on 3 hearts. And you can get the first and the last one for free, but you're going to have to do something to get these middle two.
Yeah, I was talking with a friend about this one, and it's very much, like, the way I describe it is it's sound cues for me.
I do it visually, and I find when I was learning this that getting out was more troublesome for me than getting in, because like you only have a little bit of movement up before you fall, and otherwise you're gonna get sniped in the back with the laser.
Now, Gylgamesh found the other end of Super Bunny Cave, so gonna work through this. Gonna get these 2 chests. So there's that hook shot. You know, unfortunate that it's a connector in this case, but helpful for Gylgamesh for sure. And yeah, there's that. I feel like this is a look of terror for Gylgamesh. Like, oh god, I've got all this available now.
Yeah, because he's got the hook shot. He can hook over to the left side. He can even go up to Tower of Hera here, which he's going to do Tower of Hera, which is a good call by him, because without the mirror, this is the only way to get here, and it would really be annoying if that's your progression. It's going to be more annoying when he figures out this is the old man entrance, because he's going to either have to not save the old man or not do those drop downs over on East. Or no, just not do the drop downs. He can still hook over to East Death Mountain.
Yeah, and we didn't get to see the rest of those East Death Mountain checks as Incoherent got locked out.
Yeah, so we'll get to see those for the first time.
Oh, and Late Bit mentioning, oh yeah, Old Man's locked by Ped. Oh my gosh. This is kind of silly to think about. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, you know, probably like Gilgamesh knows it's padlocked. Probably not expecting the best item from the old man. You can always get the rogue big key that's completely unrelated to anything ped required. But the saving quick can also be really nice, so you definitely still rescue him.
Did Gilgamesh check what was on Ether Tablet?
He didn't have book or no, Gilgamesh didn't. Yeah.
I was surprised. Like, that's a free check. Even without the sword, I'd want the knowledge right now.
Yeah, especially with how bad it is from his perspective to get back up there.
We do have a nice Skull Woods, though, tonight. We had a... Oh, wow. And there's Arcane of Samaria as well. But, yeah, the front entrance led to the back, and our middle is our front. So, good connector setup for Skull here. You won't have to worry about your key situation. You could steal the one from the midsection and then still get the one from the bumper room. So, very nice. Or you can just get an extra one here.
Yeah, so it does feel a bit bad for Gil, because Gilgamesh could have come up here and gotten these checks, but I think he just skipped it because it was such low equipment, and if it's bad Skull Wiz, you only get one check that would have been pretty awful for him, but knowing that cane has been available the whole time can be a bit troublesome.
There's that Hyrule Castle small key as well for Gilgamesh.
Yeah, we don't. I don't think that we only saw one of those Hyrule Castle other entrances, right? So, and we know the other ones seems to be mirror locked at this point. I guess it could be midst locked as well. But no, wait, never mind. There was the drop down on the Light Death Mountain. So, because I've been thinking Gilgamesh probably won't get over to Hyrule Castle anytime soon. So it's kind of interesting to think, what are we going to see next? Because we've seen so much between each runner. We're good to see something new when Incoherent goes down to the grave or the K45 down here. But yeah, maybe the pod area will have some sort of progression. Also, the top of the pyramid's another good option.
I was going to say, we're also going to have access to the Hammerpeg house here in Village of Outcasts. We definitely did not have a hammer that first check. Or that first time for Gilgamesh.
And it's kind of interesting because the runners are both covering each other's tracks in a way, but the items that Incoherent he's allowed him to just check a few extra entrances along the way. That will be really annoying if Gilgamesh has to get back to them. And there's that other Hyrule Castle entrance.
Yeah, it's just this efficiency for Incoherent is just going to come back to kind of continue to make a difference the rest of the seed. You know, Gilgamesh has got to feel pretty good about the finds. Like, I'd be happy having a bow and a hookshot and silver or a hammer and a sword already and a pearl. But like, it's the little things that he's missing, like that mirror and those flippers and now the cane that are just going to start adding up.
Yeah, once Gilgamesh probably feels okay now, but if he finds that mirror like an hour in, you know that's going to feel really rough because that's the place your opponent can go to very early.
Well, and it just comes back to the whole discussion of, you know, when does Hyrule Castle become a check? When is the Sank drop down important to Gilgamesh? And these items are only going to send him further. Now, that key on Race Game is just a small key to Misery Mire. We are getting the back of Escape, though, and hey, there's Master Sword.
Yeah, it's interesting. I couldn't remember if Incoherent had went there yet, back there or not. He must not have saved and quit in quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on a trek here. He got back into Kakariko after going through the Hyrule Castle main door leading to Bonkrocks. but has found himself going into Hookshot Cave instead of trying to do that back of escape.
And one thing I'm thinking of now that could be an annoying check for these runners is we see that Master Sword now and that book in Eastern. There could be something on Bombo's tablet because we got to find. I feel like it's more likely we'll find a dungeon in the pod area that we can do something in, like Misery Mire or Thieves Town, something that we can do something in. But you never know. Or this Tower of Hera over at K45.
The book was in Eastern Palace. So, and yeah, Hera is locked behind that mirror at Cave 45. So we're going to get a dungeon clear here from Incoherent. And let's see, still going, are we getting...
It's not Philipod.
Nope, that's classic Herapot there.
Very nice.
Dane, have you seen the new version of Herapot?
I just saw that the other day, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, if you have not seen the newest Herapot setup, take it from us as your commentators. It is super easy. And that is coming from people, or at least I enjoy the Philipot method, but honestly, this new one is super, super easy.
Yeah, it's basically like left side Philipot, but just strictly easier. You place the bomb in that spot, and then you just walk back after it's exploded, and it was just revolutionary. It's so easy.
Yep. There's really no risk of the subpixel issues that you might have had with Philipot even. It is, like, for as open as Philipot is, this new version is just that much freer.
Yeah, and like I said, especially if you've already been doing Philipot, it's like, it's no transition. You just do it. It's just a strictly, instead of having a 3-pixel window, you just have to be able to get a very loose time-based queue.
And there is our first crystal for Incoherent off of Moldorm for Hera, but the bigger prize here is a Thieves Town small key off of the Worm. That means when Incoherent finds Thieves Town, that is a full clearable dungeon.
Yeah, that's really an excellent find. I would be very happy if I were Incoherent there, because you get that out of logic Thieves Town small, but like there could still be progression in Blind Cell if you were to find Thieves Town, and having the hammer already, you know you can clear it. Now, the one thing is, Thieves Town is more likely to be a pendant. We know, because we know of the dungeons like Eastern Pod and Mire cannot be pendants, so anything that's unknown right now is basically a 50-50. But you still would rather have that small than not.
Yeah.
I feel like the Eastern Palace dip for Gylgamesh is going to pay off just from knowing the lamp on pedestal. I feel like that alone is worth the whatever time it took to get the few checks in Eastern.
Now, the one concern I have with that, and I agree with you a ton, like that is great info for Gylgamesh, is I'm looking at Gylgamesh's tracker right now, and hasn't marked any of the dungeons we discussed as being definitive crystals right now.
Ooh.
So I wonder if that's not a piece of knowledge that's kind of going into his head right now. It's definitely a hard thing to think about when you're doing the rest of a race.
Yeah, absolutely. It will at least let you know that, so something like doing a Mire dip with no fire source would be more appealing to me if I knew Lamp was on pad, because then it's like, okay, if the fire rod's locked by anything in Mire, I'm never going to get that fire source to do the left side of Mire. And we're going to see Incoherent is going to do this Eastern dip. I think it makes sense because he's down to so few entrances, and he's done so many entrances that, I don't know if Incoherent just always dips Eastern, but I can see the argument here more, especially if he had done East Death Mountain as well, because then we're down to basically just the pod area for entrances and then the random drop downs on East Death Mountain.
Yeah, and worst case for Incoherent here, this becomes a double dip Eastern. For Gylgamesh, this is also a double dip Eastern, worst case. It's not like one of those, I go in without a bow or big, I get the big key, I go back, and then I go back a third time with the bow. So it's a little annoying, but nothing terrible.
Yeah, and I think if I were Gylgamesh, I would probably be feeling pretty good about the way that he's routed the seed, because it's just the items that he's got. The only thing that I would be wanting more would be to have a glove early, so you have even more efficiency. But he's had so much efficiency in his routing that you can also be like, okay, I want to dip Eastern here because if my opponent had dipped it and there's something really good in here, I don't want to get burned by that.
So yeah, after this, I assume Incoherent's going to check out the Bombos tablet. I think Gylgamesh is going to, there's quite a few checks that, especially now having Book, Master Sword, and the Mirror, like there's that ability to hit some of those stuff. Like this could be a big moment for Gylgamesh to kind of, it's not that Gylgamesh is far behind, it's just the makeup of some hits that Incoherent was been able to make up to this point.
Yep, I agree. I think this is where you really see the lead that Incoherent has. It's Incoherent, or Gylgamesh is going to be going back and through the Dark World and doing the stuff that he wasn't able to do the first time that Incoherent was able to do on his first trip. So they're pretty close to equal in terms of what they've checked. It's just that Gylgamesh has got to revisit the Hammer House and Skull Woods, and then this the Tower of Hera we saw over in K45. And we do get to see a new check there in Sick Kid, but it's just a piece of a heart. But I think Gylgamesh, it was good that he got to the mirror then, because I think there were even some others. He still had more stuff he could have done. It wasn't great stuff, so I'm very glad that he was able to go back and get that mirror. So it's not going to, if he would have waited till, say, an hour to get that mirror, then this could get pretty rough.
I will say, for as much as we don't really need that Super Bunny connector, I just realized that's really convenient if we're looking to get back up Death Mountain onto the east side.
Yeah, that is true, because it is we have you can get back to the there's the ice rod, but you can get back to the regular mountain through Desert Palace East and then get to the top of Dark Death Mountain, but that's not a very quick walk.
This seed, quite interesting on the tablets and all the book information.
Yeah, we still haven't seen the Ether tablet. We've already seen that ice rod. Now Turtle Rock, that could still be a pendant, and the unknown ones are about 50-50s, but we will have to see if that ice rod is going to be needed. But you definitely like knowing where that is. Yeah,
we personally, as a chat Twitch experience, know 4 of the crystals for sure. So see what other ones we can kind of figure out. Although we do know that Ice Palace is our green pendant from Incoherent talking to Sahasrahla earlier.
Yeah, but we have not seen Ice Palace, and we don't have a way to get in there yet. So luckily, we don't have any temptation to do something like a gloveless pendant ice.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, if I get like a Fire Rod or Bombos and I find ice right now, I'll be majorly tempted with this equipment.
Yeah, for me, the ice dip goes from, like, if I have just Fire Rod, it's awful. If I have Cane and a small key to ice, though, it's not that bad.
Yeah, this feels like a good play when you've got that kind of equipment.
You're
like, worst case, I can leave and come back. Or, like, I can go in and do a bunch of stuff and not get locked out if I do an ice break.
Yeah, because the 0 small keys, that key locked part, if you don't have the glove and hammer from Icebreaker, really keeps you out. And especially if you have hook shot and those chests are in, the one chest is in logic, and it's really a pain to get to with 0 keys. But with the 1 key in Cane, it really makes the dip much, much better.
I thought maybe we would get to see some Dark Shopping Mall from Incoherent. I don't, maybe we do off of this check.
Yeah, you do this one first and then you can swim over.
Yeah.
Especially with the real flippers, because then you get to walk most of the way. If I'm fake flippering, I'm not brave enough to fake flipper from up here. I'll only fake flipper from the spot where Mini Moldorm Cave is in the Light World. But also, Incoherent having the hammer now, you can just walk north and either do that later or maybe he's waiting for a glove as well.
Well, I do like this as well, getting the hobo check here. Very convenient play.
Yeah, because when Incoherent never did this check, he's had the flippers for a little while, but he had the mirror before, so yeah, you makes sense to put it off here.
And there's a big key this time to GT. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so that's a lot of stuff for. They've got 2 GT smalls, the GT big, the hammer, and the bow, and also they have the cane. So they got a lot of stuff that can be done once GT is found.
Yeah, really just a question of when we get the fire source to make that climb in logic right now.
And we know it probably is not going to be the lamp. Because, like, even so, if we're thinking what the pendants can be, like Ice Palace, you're already going to need a glove and Fire Rod or Bombos. And then if it's something like Skullwoods, that's just also going to be the Fire Rod. I guess one of the good things about, so you know that Ice Palace, if you know that the lamp's on the pedestal and Fire Rod is required for Ice Palace, you know that you're not going to need to get that lamp for something silly like Land Moles having the Fire Rod.
Yeah, just worried about Bombos Medallion now showing up first.
That's true.
Oh, hey, there's our dam.
Yeah,
we are very close to Swamp Palace being in logic.
Yeah, you can go in there for the first check. But also, I don't even know if Incoherent has done the dam entrance yet, so it's always nice when you can combo that in with getting the item.
Incoherent did check it. He's been really able to maximize that efficiency, kind of what we were going with, having that mirror, you know, hitting Dark World locations and saying, I didn't hit the resident Light World location right next to it. So, like, went down and found Eastern Palace, mirrored and found the Super Bunny check as well.
There, so okay, yeah, and he hasn't done Eastern area yet, so again, another nice combo here. Now, so Incoherent didn't go over to Pyramid first, did he?
No, I think he's hoping for an extra sword first or a cape.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
I guess the question is, do you walk all the way in a pod maze and then out of pod maze? I don't know about you, but I hate that walk.
I as well do. I would have personally gone to the Pyramid without the sword. I also like waiting for the sword, so I probably would have done Dark Shopping Mall first. But I would have either gone to Pyramid first and then gone to Pod, or if I go to Pod here, I would just put off the Pyramid entirely. Because this walk, it's just such a bad walk out.
Yeah, if I can, I try to make sure that this is like the end of my route. And that's part of why, like, one of the things I really like about having flippers in this scenario is you go down to Dark Shopping Mall, you hit the entrances there, you take the Whirlpool up to Dark Potion Shop, hit that one, we got the access with the hammer or the flippers. Then you route south into Pyramid and the top of Hyrule Castle, and then into Pod area to close it out.
Yeah, that's how I handle this as well. Though the one thing that can be tricky is if you have neither hammer nor glove, you can get to the Dark Witch Hut, but then you have to go back through the portal and swim back up to the pod area, and you can't route it as efficiently.
That's why we're lucky to have hammer.
Yep. And Incoherent is in fact going to walk out of the pod area, so it's a bit slow, but it is also nice and thorough in the way that you know, okay, either I'm going to get the Master Sword. We know actually there is a way to get the Master Sword, but he's going to give himself maximum outs to get the sword or the cape. Because that Master Sword's just sitting in the back of Escape, but Incoherent's been on one of the great Dark World loops where you have the mirror and get to start from the top of Bumper Ledge. I mean, you really like to have Fire Rod and Glove as well, but at that point you're just kind of being greedy.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to get... Oh, never mind. Paradox top. Yeah, no, this is a better play.
Did he get the items out of here already, or is he just...
No, I think this is the full check.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I would have got the items and then walked out, because like you could find something nice in here, like boots. Looks like a bit of confusion over here on Gilgamesh's side. Trying to decide where to go next.
I think Incoherent might have gotten a midair item and thrown off some vertical pixels. And there's a Swamp Small. There is a fully clearable Swamp Palace. Well, besides the big chest.
Big chest, yeah.
Who really needs a big chest, right?
Yeah, you can't. You can sometimes put off the Thieves' Town or Ice Palace because those things are logically required to do those dungeons. But for Swamp, you could just never find that. And we also saw the old man is in the mire area. We also see the bomb vendor there. And I didn't catch who the red crystals were today. Looks like our trackers got them. Pod and Swamp. Okay, so we got now we know that Swamp. We already knew from the pad information that Pod was a crystal, but now Swamp as well, which is excellent because that's Incoherent's going to be able to clear that, like you mentioned.
We also get a Dark Death Mountain bridge find for Incoherent. One of our Paradox Cave entrances giving us that big chest of TR location. So. Oh,
and there's the fire rod. So there's got to be some way to get to this mire because this mire, getting there through the old man is locked by the pedestal.
Wow, that's a combination.
Because if you think about it, it's pretty like between if we have to have Desert Palace also be a crystal if we don't want the fire rod to lock the lamp. So, I mean, we'll see. Also, Skull Woods would have to be a crystal as well. So there's really only a few crystal layouts that wouldn't have the lamp be locked by the fire rod at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess we're about to find another connector in this mire area that leads us here besides Old Man.
Yeah, either that or it's gonna be just a good old-fashioned flute and mitts to mire.
We did find Upgrade Fairy there at our front desert entrance.
And we see Mire Medallion is Ether, so there is always going to be that chance that there's that connector in that specific entrance until we're able to check it. I think that Fire Rod could be pretty big for Gylgamesh. Incoherent's been on this same loop for so long, he hasn't gotten to save and quit, and I think when you save and quit, you're going to probably want to go to Sank to get the back of escape. So I think good play for Gylgamesh. Yeah, save and quit to Sank, and then go over to get the back of escape, and then go to Swamp Palace here.
Yeah, Incoherent coming out of escape. Yep, exactly as you said. Very nice. Gonna get that sword. Might feel a little bad about not getting that check earlier. You know, realizing, oh, I missed that ice rod for a little while, but pretty decent still. And yeah, Swamp Palace is directly in Kakariko, so.
And we're going to see, it looks like Incoherent's going to walk back to that Dark Cross here, which Dark Cross not looking too hot today because of the pedestal lamp, but it could always be a big key to some other dungeon. It's unlike the item randomizer, Dark Cross is hard locked by the lamp. It's not the fire rod can also give it to you. Looks like Gylgamesh is going over to that dark shopping mall. Oh, he doesn't have flippers yet, so he's got to do the current jump. But gets the first try.
Nicely executed.
All right, so there's a Castle Tower small key, which so that we already knew Cackwell was going to be locked by the lamp, but it's even more locked by the lamp now. Looks like Incoherent's going to do this first, which if he doesn't know that Swamp's a crystal, so I can see why you might want to just quickly check this out, and then he'll get the information that Swamp is one of the red crystals. Gylgamesh sets up the intentional block to turn in the mushroom, but that's not that cool to do in Crosskeys unless the mushroom shop's vanilla. I definitely have muscle memoried in the intentional Blanc mirror placement, and then had this happen to me as well, so it can be annoying. Yeah, and then I can go here and also show this is another place that's not fun to mirror back into. That you can mirror to the top from desert like that, but that portal can be a bit tricky to get back into. We're going to get our first look over at the pyramid here from Gylgamesh, and he has the Master Sword as well, so we'll get to see all 3 entrances plus the item here. And we gotta find a dungeon here at some point that these runners can do something in. Maybe Thieves Town up here.
Or a dark entrance.
Yeah, Chad mentioned we found Mire. I did not see where that was, but yeah, Mire they can go in and do some stuff in. Top of Spiral.
I mean, I think the clear play here is you gotta... If I'm incoherent, like, Swamp Palace is my play.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Just figured out it's a crystal. Probably want to do the Spiral Cave real quick first, and then you can just save and quit to Sank and get right back. So yeah, between Swamp and then Mire eventually after that, I think they have the keys to the kingdom now to get their next piece of progression.
And unless Mire itself, the Mire entrance is a connector, I think we didn't have a way into the Mire area outside of the mountain.
That's correct, yeah, and outside of the saving and quitting, or going through that connector, but they're both lamp locked. So, and then that makes me think that the theory about Swamp Palace always having a glove is going to be real today, because that would be a good progression item here. If that fire rod is locked by both gloves and the flute, we're going to need to get some gloves at some point.
Oh, that's, yeah. The back
that works out really nicely. It works out really nicely for Incoherent only because the pyramid item is garbage.
Yeah.
If that pyramid item had been something good, that would absolutely destroy Incoherent's routing here, but it's just 3 bounds.
Well, and, you know, all this talk about the logic now, it's very curious, like, is Fire Rod going to be logically lamp locked, or is it going to be logically Mitts and flute locked? Because either's really a possibility at this point.
My opinion is that the Mitts and flute is more likely only because of the pendant layouts that would be required to make the lamp lock the fire rod. We would need Desert Palace and Skullwoods to also be crystals. So that means that we'd have to have Eastern and Thieves be specifically, right? Someone between Eastern Thieves and Turtle Rock be our last crystals, or last pendants.
Eastern Campia pendant.
Oh yeah, you're right. So it would have to be specifically Turtle Rock and Thieves Town as the last pendants. Whereas if we put the fire rod locked by Mitts and flute, then we have more possibilities.
Sorry, you lost me there.
I don't know if I'm the weird guy, but I always think about how many possible permutations of the seed could there be when I'm deciding where something is needed. Oh yeah, fire rod's needed for TR2. So like, I think at this point it has to be like, what layout could we even have that would let the lamp lock the fire rod? Because we can't have pendant TR with fire rod.
I mean, Thieves Town and Ice Palace is fine,
but not Skullwoods or Desert. Those both require fire source.
Yeah, you're right. This probably is going to be a Mitts and flute situation.
So that's why my #1 hypothesis now is there is a glove in Swamp, because it's a popular opinion, and we're going to need those gloves sometime.
Yep, you've sold me on it.
Other options, we could also get the boots. That would give a few more entrances, because at this point, I'm really thinking entrances are the next thing we're going to want, because there's just not that many entrances left. We've got those Dark World, Death Mountain entrances can be gotten by either runner. And then if we find an entrance, it can be something like Thieves Town, which has 5 in-logic items with that, or more if the Tower of Hero Big Key shows up somewhere.
So yeah, at this point, we're a little more than an hour in on this race. Incoherence routing has definitely paid off a bit more. Gylgamesh able to get a couple of extra checks at certain times, but none of the really, what I would say, important ones, unfortunately. Like, even with that having the book and the Master Sword early, having the book early hasn't checked Bombo's tablet, hasn't checked Ether tablet, so there's some nice things that Gylgamesh could have that just hasn't panned out yet or hasn't been gone for yet.
Yeah, for sure. I think Incoherent kind of had that early lead from getting that mirror early, and I think he still kind of has some of that left. I think it may not be quite as big as it looked earlier, but definitely still anyone's race, as long as Crosskeys and random big keys are they can create some pretty crazy races. So
exactly,
I never count anyone out until it's over. You've even seen races where one runner orphans the Thieves Town big as required and the other doesn't, and still ends up winning because there was another terrible item.
And, you said a glove in Swamp. Apparently, yep, there it is.
Because we could have had boots or something to give us a little more. We could have had a glove in Mire, and one of the few checks was available. But it just seems like there was going to be a glove in Swamp.
Yeah, we were starting to get run out of things, so that's completely a fair assessment on this one.
And that glove is pretty nice, because now you can go and do like the little glove tour where you get the glove locked entrances and the light and dark world together. And then if you find something like Ice Palace, you can get that green pendant, clear it out, get whatever you need to get, or if you find something even better, you can do that. Now the question is, will there be another glove in Swamp? I don't think that there has to be, but I wouldn't be shocked if there is.
Yeah, like this glove that we've got I wouldn't be shocked if it leads to a lot else. There's our other Castle Tower small key, so we're still a little bit short for Cackwell, and of course Head locked Cackwell.
Padlocked Cackwell, so we don't know what our other pendants are. We still need another glove and the flute to put the Ice Palace clear into logic, since the fire, or Bombos as well. Bombos is another option. Once we have to find Ice Palace as well, which if Ice Palace turns out to be locked by something like the Mitts, just by being the entrance locked, then it can be even harder to get there.
We are going to get a Skull Woods fight, a moth fight over on Gilgamesh's side. Having the Fire Rod, I'm going to go after this boss, and I like the play. We don't know if it's Crystal or Pendant. Feel like it's going to be a Crystal, but if this is a Pendant, like, this just makes everything that much more interesting tonight.
Yeah, especially if it's a pendant and has something good, too. That could be another option. So dueling boss fights now with Argus on one side and Moth on the other.
Incoherent going to have to be a little careful here, down to 3 hearts on green mail, so just a couple hits. But nice moth fight over on Gilgamesh's side for a small key to GT, and there's our third pendant. Wow.
What's the second pendant?
Oh, sorry, you're right. I just assumed it was Thieves for no reason. I'm sorry.
I think it's fairly safe too. It's because I think the other option is Desert Palace, right? So So that small key to GT, unlikely to be required. Already having 2, you can do everything in GT if you get the... Well, they already have the fire rod, so they can just steal the key from the right side and then do the left side. Oh, we're going to see this. This is in logic going through Bumper Cave with the hook shot like this. This is something we haven't seen from either runner. I'm not sure if there's anywhere we can only get to from connectors. That would be interesting, but maybe. I mean, it is somewhere we can only get to from connectors, but it's not interesting.
Definitely not.
I think at this point, I guess the best thing you could hope for would be eliminating a mid-locked entrance or a boost-locked entrance, because I don't think there are any... We've gotten to all the interesting exit onlys, like top of bumper and...
If you want that Cane of Burna on Floating Island, that could be really convenient just to have Burna. But hey, that glove does open up Blind's Hut here at the Liftable Rock by Desert. But yeah, I mean, if I could find a way up to Floating Island, like that could be really convenient as well right now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's those 2 entrances left that neither runner has seen yet, so definitely worth going up there if you find it. There's that Turtle Rock big key, which means that these runners can actually clear Turtle Rock because the ice rod's just on Bombo's tablet.
And yeah, I mean, Incoherent now having that glove might be thinking, do I really want to just... Are we going to see a play into that Flute Spot 4 Dark World access? Okay, so checks the... Oh, might be climbing the mountain again.
Yeah, and Amazing Ampharos pointing out that no, we have not seen... I don't think we've actually done anything inside of Turtle Rock aside from Laser Bridge. So,
yeah, we have not found a single entrance besides Laser Bridge at this point. So
yeah,
there's a lot of added value.
Sorry, I was going to say I was not be surprised to see like top of the mountain for Turtle Rock Front, and then Turtle Rock West is Laser Bridge, for instance. So that Turtle Rock will have extra value because then you can go in and clear out. And even with 3 keys, you can even get the change hop room from the front if you want. It looks like Incoherent's going to do... Now, I don't... Though Incoherent did get to check Ice... He got to check Mammo's tablet, so he's going to just do Meyer Dip here anyway. There again, both runners are in the same dungeon like they were in Pod earlier, so another interesting quirk.
And once again, you know, it's not a huge difference, but Incoherent has the slightly more convenient setup. Incoherent coming in with 1 small key to Gylgamesh's none. Like, you're going to see how smooth of a route Incoherent can kind of work with on this dungeon as a result.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really nice to have that first Meyer Small. Logically, you need all 3 to do over here. You can do it with 0, but you'll see how much faster it is over on Incoherent side. Though he doesn't look like he wants to do the left side here, maybe, or maybe he just wants to do this first, I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah. I like the idea here because after you do cutscene chest, you're put at the top of the Meyer or the mesh bridge and can go down the stairs immediately, so without having to walk back down for that check. And oh, wow.
So we're gonna get all the Meyer Smalls because that's blocking the fire rod. So wait, that's really weird. So maybe Meyer is a connector then.
Yeah, maybe.
It seems likely, because otherwise we're going to need to get... I think we have to. Because, like, that's locked by the fire rod or the lamp. And we do still have options for connectors, because we have the Turtle Rock stuff, and I don't know if we have any unfollowed. We haven't found Laser Bridge or Top of the Mountain yet. But if there's even one other connector that hasn't been followed yet, like that other dark connector, for instance, then... that could still be available. We see Gylgamesh also getting his first glove from that. We'll get that Blind's Hut. There's that flute. So it definitely is not near Myths and Flute to get the fire rod unless the lamp is locking those 2.
And we know that fire rod locks the head. So Meyer has to be a connector.
Something is connecting to Meyer, and it can't be that dark connector. So I think we're going to see Turtle Rock. We're going to have to see a Turtle Rock west, I think, or middle, because you'll have to find Turtle Rock east somewhere. Because even going back from Laser Bridge, that also requires the lamp. So we can't have 2 exit onlys from Turtle Rock if that's going to be the connector. There might be. I don't have all the connectors tracked. There could be one other one that we haven't seen yet.
Late Bit brings up a good one. We have not seen the Spec Rock drop down.
That's a good point. Yeah, so we've got that one, we've got the other dark connector, and then we've got the 2 Turtle Rock ones.
Hello, Logic. This is why we don't like you and why we don't care usually in Crosskeys.
Yeah. I like keeping track of it sometimes,
yes.
but
I don't
follow it.
Exactly.
And it's interesting because I'm kind of a bit surprised for both of these runners to be in Meyer at the time when they are, because if I were Gylgamesh, I probably would have gone to Swamp Palace because he knows it's crystal, he's got the Swamp Small and the flippers and the hammer and the hook shot. And then Incoherent had Turtle Rock with it is a bit of a pain to go get that ice rod, but I probably still would have done that first.
Well, and I think for Incoherent, this was not just rush TR so much as it is also I've got a clearable dungeon here, and why not do the Meyer checks I can on the way?
That's true.
I think that's what this play is about, more so than trying to, rush TR, saying, I've got Skull, I want to beat this dungeon, regardless of what it is, but let me get the 6 checks in Meyer.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think that the Meyer dips in Crosskeys are generally not too bad, because even if the difference between a single dip full clear and a 2 dip full clear is just basically that extra Meyer 2 room that you have to do. The first 2 rooms, I mean.
Yeah.
Mothula being a bit rude here with Incoherent, but able to clutch it out with the cape there.
So yeah, there's a 3rd dungeon now for Incoherent. At this point, Gylgamesh just has the moth kill, so...
Yep, we'll get to see him finish up the Swamp Palace sometime soon. Did he find Hera? No, it doesn't seem like he's found Hera yet, because he was back in the Dark World with the mirror, but I think he got distracted by something before he got all the way down to K45. And we're gonna see, this is like Ether Tablet here from Incoherent.
Yeah, that's definitely the way it's looking.
And maybe he might also want to go over to those Dark Death Mountain entrances on the way or something, or actually it's probably faster to go through that connector, get to GT first, and then go there if that's what you want to do. So then again, he has mitts, so he can just do the Turtle Rock entrance.
Yeah, I might just go for that Turtle Rock entrance to see.
We got a quick check to see that Thieves Town is a crystal is the most important thing we saw there.
So, okay, so we were wrong. That is not a pendant.
Nope. So it's desert would be the last pendant. Right, no, Turtle Rock could still be there.
Turtle Rock could be as well.
All right, let's see if this book check is as interesting as the other 2 we've seen so far. And that's a no.
Yeah, no. Sorry.
And interesting because the Incoherent has Mitt's hammer mirror, can easily check the Turtle Rock entrance, but has no medallion, so absolutely no help of opening that Turtle Rock entrance, which is Bombos. Oh, and we get this Hookshot Cave entrance as well, so 3 entrances that are over here.
Well, at this point, we're actually quite rich, so don't really need to worry about our archery game. Oh, but we're also going to get, this makes a lot of sense. We're getting Spike Cave.
Yep, with the cape and the bottles, he should still be able to get out of here if he's got any sort of health refill in the bottles.
I think it was a magic refill.
Yeah, we did get
thought
a
it was a
potion way
green
back.
Yeah.
If he hasn't used that yet. Without the boots, it's really nice to get out with the boot stat with the hook speed to get out of here, but without the boots, that's not an option. Also showing off that behind the torches, you are safe. There are no spikes behind the torches, so safe to drink a potion there. All right, here's Ice Palace. It's a green pendant. I'm not that surprised to see something here because that Turtle Rock stuff is nice, but there's literally nothing in logic in Turtle Rock right now, which I know we're ignoring logic, but there has to be some sort of progression somewhere.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, even going backwards, the Crystal Roller Room right now is out of logic.
Yep.
And, like, that's one of those plays that everybody's like, oh yeah, you go do this. Although, at this point, I'm also kind of concerned on Incoherent side of, are we going to be able to get through this dungeon and actually beat Colts there right now? We're not. Oh, good. A little bit of magic. We're going to need some magic help here.
Yeah, with the one small key with Icebreaker, as long as he hits the switch, which without the big key, you kind of have to do that anyway, he should have enough keys to get into the refill room. So as long as he doesn't get really wrecked by anti-fairies, he should be able to get okay. But it is definitely something you have to be aware of, for sure. It looks like the Pengators are the low value pack, which will give you magic, but not super frequently.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Gylgamesh into the Argus fight here. I think a little healthier than Incoherent was for that fight, so...
Another option also for the Incoherent we're dealing with magic is you can get sword beams if you get enough heart refills to use those for instead of fire red shots.
Like that. Yeah, I don't think we've really gotten anything out of ice yet.
Nope,
it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice to get our green pendant, but it's not a lot for us.
Yeah, and the green pendant, that's actually going to be locked by the Ice Palace Day, which who knows where that's going to end up being. Where that's going to be in this logic chain. And I guess this isn't even actually in logic at all, though, either, because we need some sort of fire to get in here in logic. So it's like, I'm just thinking, right now, we've seen so much from both runners that we've got a couple of glove-locked entrances left. The ones over in Light and Dark Shopping Mall. So that's probably where the immediate progression is. Because I do like to keep track of logic in this situation because they got to get something. Like, I guess it probably could just be the 4th Turtle Rock Small, though, to let you be Trinex.
Yeah, I think what we're going to find is that one glove that we know is in logic out of Swamp Palace is probably leading us... Like, one of the glove-locked entrances is going to give us something important at this point. Whether that is that 4th TR Small...
Or just a whole other dungeon like Thieves Town.
Oh, actually, even the 4th TR Small still doesn't really help us logically if we care that much. Like...
You can beat Trinex, but yeah, you can't logically... You're not logically ever required to beat Trinex for the entrance.
Unfortunately, Incoherent getting bunny beamed there.
Yeah, and I think he's actually going to have to get at least one sword beam dupe here. Oh, no, never mind. He's not using the cane here. He's using the block, so he should be fine. Yeah, he just got hit.
Yeah, I think the two... Are
Looks
the
like
two
he's not
magic not
confident.
enough?
Okay, that heart will be good.
Yeah. I thought the two littles... Are we just a little bit off?
I can't tell. I think that's enough. If he's only used... If he has... No, he used the cane once, so maybe he is a little short. If you only use Fire Rod, obviously it's gonna... They refill the same amount as Fire Rod takes. Okay, he's gotten a couple of dupes, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, nice set of dupes there.
That trick can just be a lifesaver sometimes when you're just low on magic or...
Yeah, and the fact that
it.
it seems like Incoherent is not able to fire a shot here. Like, I would have thought we would get a shot if it was available.
Yep.
Yeah, so Incoherent really on top of his magic there, knowing exactly what the situation was.
Yeah, and he must have known that you could get hearts from those red berries. Either that or he was just praying. I always think it's important to know what your enemies are giving you in the drops, because you never know when you just need a heart or a magic or a bomb. You can really bail yourself out if you know what the enemies are giving.
But yeah, Green Pennant really not paying off today. Gylgamesh, meanwhile, activated the flute and has picked up Jeremiah. We do know that the Smith turn-in is down at Light Hype Cave.
This will be nice. He gets to route that in with going back to pick up that ice rod.
I don't even think Gylgamesh knows the ice rod's there, unfortunately.
I mean, but you got to check it if you're going down there. If he hasn't checked it yet, he's got the book and the Master Sword and stuff. Though, actually, Jeremiah may be resting in peace today because the Smith is going to go bye-bye after collecting this crystal from Tower of Hera. Something that I didn't know about till my last race is that the uncle also deletes the Smith. That was the one that got me off guard the most.
Yeah, luckily it's not going to be too bad to get back for the Smith and to do the turn-in.
Yeah, you just walk right back up.
I'm surprised. Okay, here we go. This is that new Herapot setup.
Yep, very nice.
Yep, perfectly.
You just walk all the way up to the pot and then back your way up once you see that explosion. Looks like we're gonna see back of Skullwood's entrance here from Incoherent. I don't know if he did the big chest either, because I think he routed this first, and the big chest, the key was in the south part of the Dark World. Yep, we'll get to this. We already saw this Gylgamesh. It wasn't anything interesting, but definitely nice to combo that in with the last entrance. Because at this point, I'm really interested in entrances if I'm in these runner shoes, because something like Ganon's Tower or Thieves' Town is just going to give so many items that I would want to find one of those. Let me see, Gilgamesh is going to go loop back, get back to that Smith. It can be annoying when you're doing the Smith World Tour and you just get distracted by other stuff and he ends up getting deleted by the Old Man Cave or doing pod or something like that.
And it looks like, yep, Incoherent's going to get the good news on what's on the pad.
Yep, the very interesting lamp on pad. I don't think I've even seen that happen before, because it's just so uncommon because of how much logically the lamp locks.
I will say right now, you know, watching the everything, Incoherent read that pad, and there was just a very good smile there. Like, thanks.
I wonder if that will influence his decision to beat this castle tower, not having lamp or boots, because you know Cackwell's locked by pedestal now, so it might be less interesting. This is a really bad entrance to get back to, though, so I could definitely see it go either way.
gonna say, watch Boots be in the second chest here.
If Boots are in the second chest, I think I probably would do it. Continue on, and because like I think Incoherent also had he did the pyramid entrance. He only has the pyramid item left. I guess you could go to Catfish and Dark Shopping Mall maybe. It looks like Incoherent wants to continue here. These dark rooms in Agate Tower, once you know where the torches are, they are definitely not as hard. It's very hard to do with nothing, but with the fire rod, they're definitely doable.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to see a full playthrough of Agate Tower here.
Yeah, I think this is, if this had been somewhere more easily accessible, I would be very surprised to see Incoherent do it here. But the thought process I think here is that, like, okay, this is going to drop you off in a kind of convenient, I guess with the flute it's not quite as convenient as it was before, but now he can check the pyramid, which is something he has not checked yet, and he'll get to go up to Catfish and stuff. And if you're going to do it ever, you basically have to do it now. But with the boots and the lamp being on Ped, the boots being away and the lamp being on Ped, it does seem like it's pretty deep to get to that cat wall. Alright, and if we saw that Desert Palace is a crystal over on Gilgamesh's side, we now know that Turtle Rock must be the last pendant. Neither of the runners know that, but between the two of them.
And there's the TR big chest. We finally have another TR entrance.
Yep, suddenly now, like, everything in Turtle Rock is in logic except the boss and the, that other chest on the Vanilla Big Key chest. So it does, and then there's Thieves Town as well.
So the shopping mall is hugely important today.
Absolutely. So this could be really big for Gilgamesh because he might never do Agate Tower or some of the other stuff we've seen Incoherent do with the time he had from the extra routing efficiency. Because if this Thieves Town has good progression, then you're looking pretty good. And we see Vortex asking in chat about Ganon Tower Dark World. We have not found it, and I assume that you're asking about that because of Armo's Shake Storage, which is always a fun glitch to think about. I've never seen it used in a run, though I've had a race where it would have been good if Ganon's Tower was Dark World. But yeah, that's always it's something interesting to think about. You can get there. You generally will see it more with Ganon being back there. That's when I really want to think, okay, is Ganon's Tower going to be Dark World here so I can do Armo Shake Storage, or am I just having to find those boots? I have not been counting these blue balls from Aghanim either. Not too many, though.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it wasn't enough to get us a second lightning cycle, at least.
There was at least one.
You know, the other piece of this for Incoherent is this could be actually the convenient way to hit up Catfish and Shopping Mall.
Yeah, I think that definitely weighed into his decision. It does give him a pretty good spot. Now, with the flute, it's not as big. If I didn't have the flute, then I think it would have been an easy decision for me to do it because it just drops you off in a nice place. Especially if you're like, sometimes you won't even have regular Dark World access, and then those are the sort of things you have to think about here, but we do have easier ways to get over here now.
Although I said that, and apparently... Oh, okay. We're going to get a fake powder into a mushroom turn-in, possibly all of those checks for Zora area, because, yeah, Leapit, I don't think we've seen any of Zora area, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. We got those slippers kind of early, but this seed was very open in the early game, and Zora is kind of a long check, and it can be put off quite long in Crosskeys. And just the mirror shield.
Important finds. Only the best.
And we still haven't seen that potion shop either, so this is definitely a good time to turn in that mushroom for Incoherent, because for all you know, that's going to be in the Dark Shop. Well, and then you would really be happy to have turned that in.
We do have a 4th Turtle Rock small key now.
So now Turtle Rock is very open with that. Now you can do all the checks in Turtle Rock logically with that, just from finding that Turtle Rock East.
And, you know, we said we were thinking Gylgamesh was going to get Ice Rod. I just realized Gylgamesh still didn't get Ice Rod.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we haven't seen
Bombo's tablet not checked at all on Gylgamesh's side.
Yeah. I wonder if he was thinking about doing that with, say, Purple Chest. Though with the Flute, I would separate them, especially with the Smith being kind of in that area anyway. It's very nice to be able to Flute to turn in the Purple Chest rather than have to walk down with no other checks. Useless map there from the Catfish. Another useless map there from Blind. So, combo.
Hey, a vanilla entrance.
Yep, that's the not even like a pyramid fairy. That's the waterfall fairy. All right, we got our first look over at Zora area, though. We'll see. I think this would be a time where you might want to walk back out of Zora area, just because Incoherent has not done the Dark Shopping Mall area yet.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. It looks like Gylgamesh is going to check out these TR spots.
Oh, he doesn't have the big key yet.
Yeah.
So that specifically is something that will be quite troublesome. Where was that big key again?
I am drawing a blank at the moment.
Yeah, because it won't hurt him too badly now, as long as it's not something in the big chest specifically. Or I guess Crystal Roller Room, but you can always go back to that one through...
Oh, Blind's hideout.
That kind of stings, because if he had gone to the book to get the Bombos tablet, he would have gotten that.
Yeah. No, that definitely sounds correct.
Yeah, I thought it was in one of those... A dense spot, but I couldn't remember which dense spot only one runner had done.
Yeah, and this just goes back to, you know, there's a convenience factor that has just been on Incoherent side tonight. This is what can happen in Crosskeys, is you make a slight adjustment in your play, and it just kind of adds up.
Yeah, I agree. I think in standard runs, you'll often see the runner who gets to get some convenience skips be the one who wins. Whereas in Crosskeys, I think it's more about just general routing efficiency rather than skipping stuff. You don't get to skip as much stuff, so you're going to end up doing most of the game. So if you just do it more efficiently, then that's going to be the margin in the game a lot. There's the Ice Palace big key. That's not one you wanted to find.
Yeah, I'm kind of pass on that one, please.
Though I guess Gylgamesh hasn't gone to Ice Palace yet, so it's not as bad for him. It would be really bad for Incoherent, because he's already cleared it. Ooh, silvers.
Okay.
So we may not see those from Gylgamesh, because if the rest of the items fall into place, I don't think Gylgamesh will want to come back to Dark Shopping Mall for a single check, but it will just be that time loss on Ganon and some other bosses. And there's another fetch quest big key, but that one's annoying for both of them because they've both already cleared Swamp.
I will say I'm kind of surprised that Incoherent did not check the other entrance to see that it was Thieves Town before starting to check the rest of TR.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with it here only because he knows where the ice rod is. If he didn't know where the ice rod was, then I would definitely do the other entrance, hoping to get the ice rod. I guess you could find boots in the other entrance, but you know that you're going to come back. You're not going to get go mode from your other entrance. So I think you're fine to just go in here. You're going to get the same items either way. Gylgamesh is going to be quite unhappy if this was in fact where the Turtle Rock Big Key is.
Yeah.
So I'm trying. Is there any reason why you would need to walk out of the front of Turtle Rock here? I'm trying. I don't think there's any. Like, you could eliminate an annoying entrance, like Pyramid or something, but there shouldn't be. The front's not going to lead to anything.
No, we've found our connectors, really.
So I guess, right, what are we're still looking for? We're looking for Desert Big, Eastern Big, Mire Big, and Pod Big.
Yeah, a lot of big keys. Wow.
That's never a fun place to be, because I think that's all they need is those obviously need Ice Rod, but that's just a matter of, for Incoherent at least, just going over there and getting it.
Well, I feel like this is going to come down to finding GT, like, out of all of our stuff. Like, and I'm saying this, and it's kind of the obvious answer, like, GT is going to have something.
Yeah, there's no way all 4 of those big keys are going to be outside the 27 checks in GT. Maybe you'll get, like, one big key in GT, and then that big key will lead to another one, and you'll get a long, stupid chain, and then one other one will be in an isolated spot. But yeah, I agree. There's no way GT is going to be empty, and there's not even as many options. Like, maybe there's a couple Mire Smalls in there for the logical mitts and flute, but not like even having 5 Pod Smalls and 4 Turtle Rock Smalls, you're already doing pretty good on the logical keys. There's got to be some hard progression in GT. And as far as entrances we haven't seen yet between the 2 of them, we've got Mire entrance, which smells a lot like it's going to be a connector, because otherwise the seed logic doesn't seem like it would work.
Yep.
We've got, and then we've got some of the mid-locked entrances like Hammer Pegs. I'm trying to think what else we've got. We just saw Ice Palace from Gylgamesh. We have the I can't remember. Gylgamesh probably did the Light World Ice Rod Cave area, lifting up the rock.
Yes.
So it honestly seems like and GT could, like, you could have one of the dungeons be, I guess you could have GT be in GT, but it seems unlikely considering we need to get something.
We had GT. We found the GT entrance.
That's correct, yeah.
Or at least the connector that led to the front door.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about Super Bunny Walk, or not Super Bunny, the old lady connector, or Quarreling Brothers, whichever was in the top of the mount.
Yeah.
So it seemed like Pyramid or Turtle Rock looks like a good option for having GT, and I would lean more towards Turtle Rock, but we got to find Bombos to open that. Whereas Turtle Rock or the Pyramid, we're gonna need to beat Pod, which we don't have the big key for that yet. Oh yeah, our tracker pointing out that Pet is only that connector away from being in Logic, and that probably makes sense as to why we've gotten all those Skullwoods and Turtle Rock and Ice Palace small keys and big keys. Oh, and then other options for GT is just finding the boots and then getting there's what we already walked out of regular Bonk Rocks. But we've got King's Tomb and then the Link's House.
we have GT.
Ah, I don't. I didn't see where this was that he got in here.
Yeah, I missed this one too.
I mean, I feel like Hammer Peg seems like a.
It was a glove check. Apparently.
Oh, it's one of the glove checks up by like Bumper Cave area or Death on Ascent. I thought we already did those, but I guess it's hard to follow these runners. They're both doing different things. And this could be a bit dangerous though for Gylgamesh because it depends, depending on where items in GT end up being. Like he's still, I don't know if he actually needs any more than. Well, he doesn't know about the ice rod. That's the big one because he's looking for more things.
We don't need the ice rod necessarily.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because we don't. It's
So,
kind of
like,
here now.
If Gylgamesh finds the big keys required right here, that's go mode.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll just be a slight disadvantage for Gylgamesh in the fact that like Incoherent has the silvers, but well, more than slight at this point. But realistically, that's not a lot left. Like realistically, we could find all four right here.
Yep. I think two definitely seems likely because there's just not that many places left. Like you could shove them in other big chests along the way, but there's a big key, and that's Pod, so that's one. And we'll get to see Incoherent check this. It's probably going to be either the top of the mountain or Laser Bridge. There's Meyer, okay, so yeah, we just take the glove from Swamp Palace and then use the flippers to get here.
There's our logic, finally.
We have finally untwisted the wicked knot here that is tied in the logic to get this game to work.
Big key
There's
number
the Eastern.
2. There's two of them. 2 down to 2 to go. Oh, sorry, we also got Meyer already.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so we could be getting our fourth.
Yeah, we are just short that Desert Big now. Unless Incoherent starts heading for this entrance soon,
We already saw Desert North, right, too. I mean, it's marked on the tracker. I don't remember seeing it, but I also missed a lot to see.
Desert North was over in Dark Shopping Mall.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we had 3 really nice entrances over there.
So I think if you're Incoherent, you probably just want to leave after the basement, I think, with the 3 keys, and then just hope that you can get the last one from the other 2 dungeons, and then if not, then you come back here. So these are, I always hate these sort of seats where you got a bunch of one-off checks that neither runner has checked, like Ice Palace big, Swamp Palace big. You got the Kakariko Well, of course, and then you've just got one big key. But maybe this is the one. It is. Wow.
There it is. That's go mode for Gylgamesh.
Man, that GT really turning the seat. Now, I think if Ingo here can get right over to GT, this could still be close because we still are on Master Sword. He has silvers. And does he doesn't have any crystals over Gylgamesh. We're going to see a lot of crystals kind of fast from these guys.
Now, does Gylgamesh realize this is go mode, or is this kind of... Was that just a safety sword check?
Yeah, we'll have to see, because it's not obvious. There's still a lot missing on the tracker. But he did leave. I think he realized, because he left from GT. He would have continued to Ice Arm us, right, if he thought he wasn't in go mode?
True. But there's the Ice Rod pickup for Incoherent now.
Yeah, this is why Crosskeys, you never really know who's ahead until you hit the go mode, because those big keys can just be crazy and game turning like we saw here. Because from Incoherent's perspective, he's 4 items away from go mode. He doesn't realize that he just needs to go to one entrance and get all 4 items. And I think that if we had something where like 2 or 3 of the big keys were in GT, then it's again still anyone's race, because then you're going to want to find the boots and do the Kakariko well, or go back to some isolated location. But with all 4 of them being in GT, that's just excellent for the way the Gylgamesh is going through the seed. Still going to get this Eastern big chest, because the sword would be quite helpful here on Master Sword Silverless still.
Well, I wonder if something that, Gylgamesh checks is that TR big chest. Like, he's definitely going out of his way for some extra checks here. Does he, when he goes back for Desert North, does he consider that play?
Was Desert North in Light Shopping Mall or Dark Shopping Mall?
Dark Shopping Mall.
Oh, okay. I think I would consider it if I'm going over there already, yeah. Because it's a very quick check. I guess if I don't get tempered at least. Looks like Incoherent is going up where he needs to, going towards that Ganon's Tower entrance. And it's really interesting because that glove has been available for a while now. They both got swamp access kind of like in about an hour and 15 or so. And then they could have just come right here. They already had hammer and hookshot. He's gonna do Sick Kid first. Oh, and this is rough for Incoherent. He's coming back to Palace of Darkness, which I mean, you've got 5 keys, you can get the rest of the other 2 items, but it's not gonna have anything he needs. But Gylgamesh is gonna get that ice rod anyway. Interesting. Or maybe we...
Still hoping for a sword or something.
Oh,
sure.
yeah, he didn't know it was the ice rod. I probably wouldn't have done bombos there. I do some of them, but it's a matter of how long they take. And that's probably a bit on the long side. Especially in in Crosskeys at least, even when you get Master Sword Silverless, it's like Master Sword Silverless with red mail and 14 hearts and a couple of bottles. It's not terrible, though it will be lampless, and so you actually have to get something in those bottles. All right, Incoherent has made his way into GT, so he'll get to see his go mode. It's going to be a bit too little too late. Silvers do not save that much time. They're not going to save the Eastern Palace full clear, or Eastern Palace clear over him. I guess it's not full clear because they both already dipped it. It's a bit surprising that we haven't seen any of the other swords yet, because there's not that much that both the runners have skipped. We've obviously got Ice Palace Big Chest, Trinex, Green Pendant Turn In, and then the Cackwell obviously, but it's I wouldn't be surprised to see one show up on the way. And this is showing kind of where you definitely have to have your dark rooms for Crosskeys, because we're seeing all of them from Gylgamesh here. We got the pod ones and the Mire ones coming up. Saw the Eastern ones. You know, and I think with a few different rolls of the dice, I could have seen a pet pull at some point. Like, and now probably not either of these runners need the lamp, but like it was close up in the air to do Turtle Rock, and then you just have all the pendants. Especially without half magic, it would be worth a consideration. Because these runners already found their way into a couple pendants on Incoherent side and the one for Gylgamesh.
But down goes Helmasaur for Gylgamesh. That will be crystal number 5. So just Desert and Mire left to go.
Yeah, it's a fairly long go mode here for Crosskeys. Getting to go mode, what, 4 dungeons here?
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Herapod here, because this would definitely be a Tower of Hera big key go mode seed if that trick did not exist. Incoherent will be coming up on his go mode soon, probably about the same time we see Gylgamesh getting into his last dungeon. Something to note in these end games like this, there's sometimes some cool little routes you can get to combo your dungeons, especially if Turtle Rock is involved, because like you can clear Turtle Rock and get to put it somewhere else than where you entered it, and combo that in with another dungeon. So I always like to see that in Crosskeys. This one's pretty standard. There isn't a great way to get back to Dark Shopping Mall, for instance, for Desert.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways to route it in. I'm surprised we didn't see pod routed in after GT. Like, that would have been a little bit better of a play.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is go mode as well now for Incoherent. Unfortunately, down 2 crystals right now.
Yeah, and Incoherent he's going to get through this seed with a pretty decent time. It's just a little bit of extra stuff along the way kind of negated the early game routing efficiency that he got from getting that early mirror. And we see Gylgamesh does get those silvers. I definitely agree with checking that check. It's very quick.
Oh,
I'd be a question mark.
Okay. Incoherent not knowing the last crystal or pendant.
Ah, there's a map somewhere.
Knows he's in go mode, but unfortunately does not know which is which at this point. Yeah, so gonna also still beat Turtle Rock.
Yeah, maybe we'll see one of our last swords here. The last 2. Or the boots even. Where the boots are also hiding this seed. Honestly, that might like if the boots had shown up, those could have made a difference. Probably not with this margin, but like if the boots were on Ice Armos or something. And yeah, Incoherent gonna have to be careful here because low magic, and he does have the refill, but he's just gonna leave. Because he needs that magic refill for Ganon, I'm sure he's thinking. And there's just no great way to get a magic refill. You can go back to Waterfall Fairy, that's where he got his one he has now, but that's not very convenient. Gylgamesh collecting 6th crystal, so just gotta make his way up to that Spiral Cave entrance for Misery Mire. And then he'll be off to Ganon, who is in the Lost Woods today. just a long walk, I guess, to get over the spiral cave. I can't remember what connector took us to the laser bridge one, or the laser eye bridge of Turtle Rock. But it probably wasn't anything nice to get back to here.
Yeah. DDM bridge was a paradox connector over by the pod area. So,
Yeah,
not a ton of great options.
Especially not having the boots, just making this
Yeah.
the game a little bit agonizing. Because you never know when your opponent could just hit the done button here. Also a bit unfortunate to take a hit on the way. I guess it's not as big of a deal without the boots. Because you always like to have sword beams for this room in Meyer. Yeah, our tracker Tofile pointing out that there's the Super Bunny connector at the dam, which that's a pretty decent option, I think, to get to the mountain, given that you have Mirror and Oak Shot. This is probably the most difficult dark room of the set. There's a number of setups you can do that can be pretty consistent if you've practiced them.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're just missing some of the nice equipment to do them.
Yeah, not having the boots. Those little fire shooters in that squish room, they're just so annoying. Like, those fire shooters are very good at being annoying.
Yeah.
Even that one in the Landmo 2 room can be quite annoying, and it's just the one.
They just know the right time to fire off a shot.
Yeah, somebody spent a good amount of time making sure that a lot of the various enemies, like the guys that jump out of the grass and shoot arrows at you, and those fireball shooters and the bomb trees, that they're just maximally annoying. And those silver arrows that Gylgamesh took the extra time to pick up are going to help here on Vitreous a lot too, not just the Ganon fight.
And with those silver arrows very quickly taking down Vitreous, that is crystal number 7 for Gylgamesh. Just has a pig to now fight. And we know that is in the Lost Woods.
Yep, so just flute on over to Kakariko. You're already in the White Light World, and you'll be right there. You have to wonder where those boots are, because those can't be in the well. They have to be. They're probably on like Ice Armors or
Yeah, I was
Climb or
gonna
something.
say we had plenty of checks left in GT at that point, so
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's any of the one-off checks. I guess you got the Ice Palace big chest is the main check in dungeons that's out there, because we saw basically everything else. All right, so we've got a Master Sword Silver's Ganon fight here, which very nice to have here because of the no half magic, and I don't even know if Gylgamesh has that green potion that Incoherent got from Waterfall Fairy.
yeah, that could be a really rough fight.
And we never found Potion Shop either, so it's not like these hunters could have gotten another one. Ocean Shop's got to be somewhere really bad, because there's not that many entrances left either.
Meanwhile, Incoherent into Mire still has Desert and Pod as well after this. So Gylgamesh does have some time for this fight, just has to, you know, take it safe, but with, you know, 15 hearts, red mail, not too bad.
Yeah, the main thing I think that can be difficult for the if you're on like a low percent Master Sword Silverless Ganon is just getting clipped by too many bats. Because once you get into the last phase, it's just you're doing the same thing you normally do, just twice as long. Whereas this phase, it plays out totally differently because you can only damage with the spins. Of course, Ganon doesn't want to warp when you're holding the wall, waiting like that. Yeah, Ganon doesn't seem to be in a warping mood right now. He's gone, yeah, 4 in a row, no warps. If you could just not have any warps this Ganon. Now he's gonna warp 15 times because he didn't get in the fifth in the first one.
I will say, this is probably the most annoying way to have to fight Ganon, by the way.
Master Sword with silvers.
This could be a problem for Gylgamesh. Oh wait, was that a potion?
If he doesn't have a... I didn't see it. We'll see. Oh, he's still got a green.
Okay.
Because that could be a problem.
Yeah, he wasn't going to have enough magic.
Yeah, you're normally not concerned about using a little bit of cape and using missing the torch clips with silver arrows, but you do still have to be a little worried.
But that is going to do it for this fight. Gylgamesh just having to cross the bridge here. And there we go. Get your GGs in chat for Gylgamesh finishing first overall with a time of 2:06.21, securing a 5-2 record now at this point, and living to fight in Week 8 for a spot in the tiebreaker race. Right as Incoherent does take down Vitreous, and it looks like also gets the news, and unsurprisingly, while he is in go mode, is deciding to call it at this point as well. So GG's to Incoherent as well tonight.
Yep, definitely put on a good show. Had a really good start to this race, and was definitely still had a good race. Just a little bit towards that end, not getting to get GT quite as fast as Gylgamesh was able to.
Yeah, I think the one thing we saw in chat was kind of, some of the extra clears.
And we'll see if the runners are going to join us. Looks like we've got Incoherent already joining us, so good games there, Incoherent.
And it looks like we're also joined by Gylgamesh. GG.
GG.
I did see your name light up, Incoherent. Not sure if something's not picking up, though. But, I guess, since we do have you here, Gylgamesh, thoughts on the seed?
I wasn't a fan. I felt real bad after finding that mirror at like 45 minutes. And I was feeling kind of behind at that point. And as things, I realized that I looked at my timer, an hour 30 or something, and realized I had like one big key. And then I was just starting to feel worse and worse. And then I just got a huge dump of big keys at the end that was enough for me to finish out the seed.
Okay, does it work now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, just a series of unfortunate events on my part. I had the mirror really, really early and felt good about that, and then just didn't find GT for a while.
Yeah, Incoherent, you were a bit ahead in the routing efficiency department because of that early mirror. You were kind of a little consistently checking more than Gylgamesh, but then he just got the GT early, and all 4 of the last Go mode items were in there. And what are you gonna do about that?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
GT...
I was pretty sure TR was a pendant, but I was going to do it anyway. So I kept going to find the 4th big key in GT, but just too late. Like, I made the play for Aga Tower and never found the boots, and obviously it wasn't required.
Yeah, I would have loved those boots at some point. I don't know where they were.
Yeah, the 2 big differences became the not just the Aga Tower clear, but also incoherent. You found Ice Palace, and were able to clear that dungeon out. So,
Oh, where was that?
East TDM.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't do any of the entrances in East Dark Death Mountain.
Part of that is I was just there early. Like, I found that connector pretty early and just went, okay, I should probably clear this out because it seems like a thing I could do with the mirror.
Right.
Did you guys follow the kind of crazy logical chain involving the fire rod and the lamp and the fire locked dungeons?
Nope. I saw the pedestal and I was like, okay.
I mean, I saw that and I went, I have most of the keys for the pendants I have and also Turtle Rock, so it's probably TR pendants for pulling that for some other stuff, and you just don't worry about it again.
Yeah, it was interesting because once you guys got the mitts and flute out of Mire, we knew there had to be a connector to Mire because otherwise the fire rod would be locked by the lamp, which was impossible because of the pendant layout. So
Right.
It was a good time for us because Gylgamesh gave us that pet check nice and early, which gave some pretty interesting information for the seeds. Just ignore the logic in Crosskeys.
That's kind of how like, once I saw that lamp on the pedestal, I was like, all right, well, logic's just out. I'm not even going to bother at this point. So I was just trying to clear stuff as efficiently as possible, and that was it.
It's there, you just don't actually need it for anything.
Yeah.
No, something that Jesse pointed out is that does tell you what dungeons can't be pendants, because any of the lamp locked dungeons are...
I actually spaced on that and map checked for Eastern Palace, not thinking, wait, it's lamp locked.
I did the same thing. Once I got the Eastern map, I was like, oh, let me look at it.
It's definitely hard to think of that stuff when you're in the run. So, Gylgamesh, you will be going to 5-2, which puts you in a play-in game for the play-in game. So, how are you feeling about that for next week?
Well, I mean, I've survived 3 lose and out matches so far, so we'll see if I can pull off one more, because I was 2-2 after 4 weeks, and then I've rattled off 3 in a row now. But, I don't know, we'll see. I just came into this tournament hoping to maybe go 4-4, because this is my first Crosskeys tournament. I don't play a ton of Crosskeys, but I was like, I'll join. I like playing rando. I like being in 3 tournaments at the same time, so why not?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a fun mode, so good to have you in it.
And yeah, I realize this knocks me out of the running, but I mean, it's Crosskeys. You can't expect good things all the time. Sometimes you just get bad luck.
Yeah, we were saying at the top of the race, it's 16 people make brackets out of a field of over 180 this year, and you're gonna see great runners in this mode who just get knocked out every week or take a tough loss. So this is not not a statement that people are not good at the mode, just that this is a deep field and it's a brutal run
For sure.
Yeah, there's no free outs this high in the bracket, so you have no idea what's going to happen each week. Like, I came into this going, 5-3 would be nice, and so I can still play for that next week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how far the community as a whole has come in terms of Crosskeys finishes. Like a 206 finish time here, like 3-4 years ago, that would be like absolutely incredible. But now, like, people are ratting those off left and right now.
All right, are we good to wrap up?
I think so.
I think so.
All right. So I want to thank our runners. Thank you to Gylgamesh and Incoherent for the awesome race. Thank you to our commentators, Jesse and Dane8373, and thank you to our trackers, Lady Laura Linda and Top File. I put their links in the chat. Please give everybody here a follow. That's going to do it for ZSR tonight. Coming up tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, we have a Wind Waker Randomizer Season 5 Tournament Winners Bracket Quarterfinals match between Clarion and Advocate. And at 5:10 p.m., we have a Skyward Sword Randomizer Tournament match between Mirage IW and Froha 258. And at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we have an Ocarina of Time Bingo Tournament 2022. It's the top 16 match between Runner Guy 2489 and Jen Slang. So a bunch of stuff on the schedule for tomorrow. Hope you find something you want to watch. And with that, we're going to go and sign off here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful time and a fantastic rest of your night. Bye!